Welcome to Bloodstained Stories, where we dive deep into the dark and gripping world of true crime. I'm your host, Joseph, and today we're exploring the unprecedented and disruptive Sony Pictures hack. In November 2014, Sony Pictures Entertainment fell victim to a massive cyberattack that compromised sensitive data, leaked unreleased films, and exposed confidential company information. The hack, attributed to a group called Guardians of Peace, was allegedly linked to North Korea in response to the controversial film, The Interview. Join me as we uncover the details of this high-stakes cyberattack, the fallout for Sony Pictures, and the broader implications for cybersecurity and international relations. Are you ready to journey into the heart of true crime? Let's get started. In late November 2014, the entertainment world was rocked by a cyberattack of unprecedented scale and impact. Sony Pictures Entertainment, one of Hollywood's leading studios, found itself at the center of a digital storm that exposed sensitive data, paralyzed its operations, and raised serious questions about cybersecurity and geopolitical tensions. This is the story of the Sony Pictures hack, a case that revealed the vulnerabilities of even the most powerful corporations and underscored the rising threat of cyber warfare. Sony Pictures Entertainment, a subsidiary of the Japanese conglomerate Sony Corporation, is renowned for its production and distribution of major films and television shows. In late 2014, anticipation for the studio's upcoming releases was overshadowed by growing tensions with North Korea over an upcoming comedy film, The Interview. The movie, a satire about a fictional assassination plot against North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, had drawn sharp criticism and threats from the reclusive regime. On November 24, 2014, Sony Pictures employees arrived at work to find their computer screens hijacked by an ominous message from a group calling itself the Guardians of Peace, GOP. The message threatened to release sensitive data unless the company complied with unspecified demands. Shortly thereafter, an avalanche of confidential information began to surface online, including unreleased films, personal employee data, executive emails, and financial records. The attackers had gained access to Sony's network weeks earlier, using malware to systematically exfiltrate vast amounts of data. The sheer volume of information released was staggering, and the revelations were both damaging and embarrassing. Private emails disclosed internal disputes and unflattering remarks about celebrities, while financial documents exposed the studio's inner workings. The FBI swiftly launched an investigation, working alongside cybersecurity experts and Sony's IT team. Early evidence pointed to North Korean involvement, supported by the sophistication of the attack and the specific targeting of the interview. The malware bore similarities to previous attacks linked to North Korean hackers, and IP addresses associated with the attack were traced to known North Korean locations. The immediate impact of the hack was chaotic. Sony Pictures was forced to shut down its computer network, resorting to pen and paper for basic operations. The release of sensitive data led to widespread embarrassment and legal repercussions, as employees and business partners grappled with the fallout of their private information becoming public. The most significant consequence was the decision to pull The Interview from its planned Christmas release. Amid threats of violence against theaters showing the film, major chains refused to screen it, and Sony ultimately opted for a limited digital release. This decision sparked a fierce debate about free speech, artistic expression, and the capitulation to cyberterrorism. The U.S. government responded forcefully to the attack, attributing it to North Korea and labeling it a serious act of cyber vandalism. President Barack Obama condemned the attack and criticized Sony's decision to cancel the film's theatrical release, stating, "We cannot have a society in which some dictator someplace can start imposing censorship here in the United States." In response to the hack, the U.S. imposed additional sanctions on North Korea, targeting its defense industry and key government officials. These measures were intended to isolate the regime further and deter future cyberattacks. However, the effectiveness of these sanctions in curbing North Korea's cyber capabilities remained a subject of debate. The Sony Pictures hack had far-reaching implications for cybersecurity and international relations. It highlighted the growing capabilities of state-sponsored hackers and the vulnerability of even the most well-resourced companies to sophisticated cyberattacks. The incident underscored the need for robust cybersecurity measures and the importance of preparedness in the face of evolving digital threats. For the corporate world, the hack served as a wake-up call about the importance of protecting sensitive data and the potential consequences of security breaches. Companies across industries reevaluated their cybersecurity protocols, invested in stronger defenses, and emphasized the importance of employee training to prevent similar incidents. The Sony Pictures hack is a landmark case in the history of cybercrime, illustrating the devastating impact of digital attacks on major corporations and the intricate interplay between cybersecurity and global politics. It serves as a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities inherent in our increasingly interconnected world and the need for vigilance and resilience in the face of emerging threats. As cybersecurity continues to evolve, the lessons learned from the Sony Pictures hack remain critically relevant. The incident not only reshaped Hollywood's approach to digital security, but also set a precedent for how nations and corporations respond to the growing menace of cyber warfare. The story of the Sony Pictures hack is a cautionary tale of how the digital age can amplify the stakes of geopolitical conflicts and the enduring importance of safeguarding our digital infrastructure. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Bloodstained Stories as we delved into the dramatic and far-reaching Sony Pictures hack. If you found this deep dive into one of the most significant cyber attacks in recent history compelling, please subscribe and leave a review. Your support helps us bring more in-depth true crime stories to you. Follow us on social media for updates and behind-the-scenes content. Have a theory or a case you'd like us to cover? We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and keep exploring the mysteries of the true crime world.